We left the memory card for the camera in the computer. So this might not go so well. Welcome back to Road Staying. Ben and Lauren here. Lauren with the palm above her eyebrows there. And we are at the Quartzsite RV show at the big tent. And we're here to check out some work camping jobs.
We work all kinds of seasonal jobs across the country. And we live in our 29-foot fifth wheel, moving it from job to job.
We're just gonna go in and see if we can find a job for our next season. And talk about all the work camping jobs you may be interested in as well.
Now, if Ben had not left the memory card in the computer, we might have had some footage of this, but the first booth that we got to speak with was Guard 1, which is a gate guarding agency. We spoke to James and he let us know about the opportunities, which are constantly happening. You must be a couple, and they do provide hookups for you. However, you must provide your own drinking water and food. And you cannot both leave the site at the same time. Someone has to be on site 24 hours a day. So you do each get paid a stipend per day, but you can't go anywhere together.
Yes, you have to stay at the gate 24 hours a day and have at least one person available. Now, he said there were full hookups there. I don't know if there are full hookups in the ground or if it's a service where they bring water and then take wastewater away. We've heard different reports over the years. And it is important to note that they do hire single work campers too, but you have to find your own RV site somewhere off-site and commute in as a single work camper for Gate Guard 1. Now, if Lauren had put the memory card in the camera before we left, we may have been able to show you what cool things Amazon CamperForce has available.
Which is an exciting opportunity. We have worked for Amazon CamperForce in the past. And at that time, there were some pretty cool opportunities and benefits. But they have expanded on those since then. Now, not only do they have full-time, but they also offer part-time opportunities. And they still offer that awesome bonus of an assignment completion bonus, 50 cents for each regular hour worked and $1 for each overtime hour worked, as well as potential overtime with overtime pay and 401k benefits and referral bonuses.
We benefited greatly from working at Amazon. We thought it was great for the amount of time we were there and the amount of money we made. Since then, we've had friends work for CamperForce, and they actually just filled us in recently on their experience, and they had a good money-making experience there as well.
Now, they don't have campsites at the facilities, but they do offer a weekly stipend towards your campground expenses.
The next booth we stopped at, and here's their information, their card, is the Unbeatable Experience. Now, this is known as the Beet Harvest, and there are different beet harvest companies that hire work campers in the fall, winter-ish season, October, November time in there. And this is just one of two that we got to talk to today. And this one is located in Montana, North Dakota, and Minnesota.
Ben did also ask if you have a CDL license, if that would be something that they could hire for. They said they do not, through this company, the employment agency Express Employment, hire the CDL drivers, but it would help you get a position as a skid steer operator or some other heavy equipment operation. The shifts are 12 hours a day. And they say the beet harvest lasts around 21 days. However, they do ask you for a 30-day commitment in case weather holds up the harvest.
Now, this one offered a free campsite, and as RVers, that is always important to know in a work camping gig, for us at least. Now, whether that's full hookups or right here it says it has a honey wagon and water service provided. I think different locations may have different things. From what the recruiter was telling us, it kind of depends on location.
This year, they're saying their pay starts at approximately $16 per hour. 8 hours of your shift are regular time, and the last 4 hours are time and a half. If you're interested in this opportunity, you'll want to visit the unbeatableexperience.com. Unbeatable is spelt like beet.
The other booth there that was also for the beet harvest is called the Michigan Beet Harvest. And as the name implies, this beet harvest is in Michigan.
One of the things the recruiter wanted to make very clear to us is that this one is not going to be manual labor out in the fields picking beets, because that, she said, is what a lot of people think you're going to be doing.
This was more of an equipment operations type job, and also collecting beet samples and assisting in cleaning and maintaining an area. So less physical work at this one. That's what she was telling us. Now, it's important to note that the Michigan Beet Harvest and the Unbeatable Experience uses the same hiring company. So don't get them confused. They're two separate companies, but they do use the same hiring company.
So the benefits and pay are different. For this one, this year, they're starting at approximately $15 an hour, and their overtime starts after 40 hours of work. They do offer a season completion bonus, a free campsite as well.
And that's for the 2022 season. To apply, please visit www.michiganbeetharvest.com.
The next one was a totally different work camping experience, one we have not tried before, and it was at an amusement park called Adventureland.
We have worked in a lot of national parks, but we have not worked at an amusement park, and, well, I was a bit amused with what you can do at this work camping job.
This one is located in Iowa, and there are a number of different job positions, from games attendant, food support, food cook, ride operator, and the benefits are pretty awesome. You get a free hookup site.
And the recruiter we were talking to at the desk, I believe his name is Lou. And if your name was not Lou, we apologize for that, but I'm pretty sure it was Lou. And he was also a work camper and started work camping in 2014, the same year I started work camping. So it was nice to make that connection with somebody there. And he was explaining to me about when you're working a job, let's say a ride operator, they don't just keep you on that ride and operating that ride the entire time you're working for them. They move you around the park to different jobs. Same thing if you worked in food and beverage. You may work in different kitchens or different areas of the park with food and beverage. And for me, that was exciting because that keeps the job interesting. Moving every week to a different location for a summer season, I think that sounds like a lot of fun. You get to talk to new people, meet new people, and do a different job every week.
He did also say that they hire both singles and couples, and that you don't have to commit to a 40-hour work week. Their minimum number of hours to be worked per week is 32, and you also don't have to commit to a 6-month season. Their season starts in May and goes through the end of September, and you can, what you would like your contract to be, and work with them on your entry and exit dates for this job.
Thank you for all the information, Lou.
If you're interested in applying to Adventureland, you'll want to visit www.adventurelandresort.com/employment.
As we were making our way to the next work camping recruiting booth, we came across a booth called Fantasy RV Tours, and we weren't really sure if they were there to hire workers. And we must have had a look on our face because they did come out of the booth a little bit and start to talk to us because we were trying to figure out what it was exactly this company did. And Fantasy RV Tours, well, that is a catchy name. It turns out that they have different RV tours planned throughout the country, and you can sign up for these tours and they will tour you in your own RV. It's a whole group of RVs, I should say, and tour you throughout the country, Alaska, Canada, and maybe Mexico. I'm not really sure. Well, we have worked in tourism and hospitality in the past, and we've been tour guides in the past, and so we asked her, we said, how do you get a job here as a RV tour guide? Because that sounds like so much fun. It combines a passion of RVing that we have and past experiences of being tour guides in national parks. And although this is not a work camping recruiter booth, she did tell us on how you get those jobs at Fantasy RV Tours.
The unique requirement with this company is that you must go on one of their tours prior to being hired by them. They want you to experience the tour and really understand what it's all about to make sure you're going to be fully committed and interested in doing this job. She did also share with us 2 of the job positions that you would most likely be taking on as a tour guide here. They are the wagon master and the tail gunner.
The wagon master is the lead person in the group, and they are planning it out and leading the group to the next place and laying out all the plans for the day. And the tail gunner, well, they're following the group and making sure everybody gets to their location safe and sound. And the tail gunner is helping with any issues you may have along the route, which if you're a new RVer, this sounds great, because if you have a flat tire or an issue with your RV on the road, there is somebody there with experience that can get you from point A to point B. And I think that sounds amazing for especially new RVers.
So if you're interested in being a tour guide for Fantasy RV Tours, you'll want to start by going to fantasyrvtours.com and booking a tour first.
As we were making our way to the next booth, Lauren kept reminding me that I left the memory card in the computer back in the fifth wheel. And I said, well, I don't know what to say. But we found ourselves at the Alaskan Employment Opportunities booth.
Now, this booth was more about tourism and visiting Alaska. However, they did have some employment opportunities on some small cards. The woman at the booth did not have a whole lot of information, but they are hiring in Ketchikan, Alaska, for the mill at Ward Cove. And there are other opportunities. However, they do not come with RV sites.
That was a major downfall for us. We like work camping positions that already provide an RV site, so that was unfortunate. But they are hiring in retail sales associates, activity guides, security and maintenance, tour director, and customer representative. And the one that I honed in on was CDL driver positions.
Now, because they don't have RV parks for employees, you will have to find your own RV park to house you and set that up ahead of time.
We did not ask if they had dormitory housing, unfortunately.
So if you're interested in working at the mill at Ward Cove, you'll want to visit www.wardcoveak.com/employment.
You can also find them on coolworks.com.
And for other Alaskan employment opportunities, you go to www.premieralaskajobs.com.
As we were making our way down through the crowded aisles of the big tent, we saw a sign that was very familiar to us, and we were surprised and shocked and ecstatic about seeing this. It was the Grand Teton Lodge Company. And who was at the booth was our former coworkers Shannon and Donna. And it was great to catch up with them and talk to them, and I don't think we talked to them about working at the Grand Teton Lodge Company at all. But since we worked there last season, we can fill you in.
Grand Tetons is an amazing national park, and working within a national park is so rewarding.
And living in one.
Yes, you get to live in one too, which leads to the biggest perk of working for a concessionaire within the national parks, which is free entrance into Grand Teton National Park and being right there all the time.
Now, Grand Teton Lodge Company is a concessionaire for the national parks. You're not working for Grand Teton National Parks. You're working for the concessionaire company. And this is true throughout the national park system. There are always concessionaires, and that's who we've worked for in the past. Glacier National Park, we worked for their concessionaire. Glen Canyon National Recreation, we worked for their concessionaire. So it's really important to note that there is a difference there, even though they kind of work together.
They do have multiple opportunities for housing, including dormitory-style living, as well as an RV park. Now, the RV park does have limited space, so they do require that there be a couple in the RV and both partners work. Now, speaking of working, the jobs there is a huge variety, from guest service and lodging, to retail, to food service, to marina worker, to maintenance. The list goes on.
If you have a skill set in almost anything, you can find a job there. And if you have an RV site and can get one of their limited RV sites, it's a great place to spend your summer. Now, talking about limited RV sites, we did experience this the first 2 times we applied for the Grand Teton Lodge Company. The jobs were available, but because they have limited supply of RV sites, we were unable to take them because, well, there was no place for our RV. But on try number 3, we got a job and we got a site, and that's how we spent season 12. It was an amazing summer.
There is a small charge for the RV site per day, but they do pay for all hours worked.
And a little insider information on that one, they are looking for couples who live in an RV to hire for this season right now. They do have space available in their RV park. So if you're interested in working in Grand Teton National Park, please visit www.gtlc.com/employment and apply quickly, because those RV sites are going to go quick.
The next one was a little tiny sign at this booth that said Camp Hosts Wanted, and we said, let's go ask.
And that's the only sign we've seen after all these big banners all around this place. It was that little sign that said Camp Host Wanted.
This place is called Lizzie and Charlie's RV and ATV Park.
It is in the middle of Utah, and they were so organized. We inquired about the camp host position, and they quickly brought out all the information that we needed. And it was here in this pamphlet of papers they gave us of everything we needed to know about working for Lizzie and Charlie's in Marysville, Utah. And it was very helpful to see everything that they are offering in their compensation package for 2022.
This year, 2022, they're asking for 30 hours per week for site and benefits. Benefits include free propane, free Wi-Fi.
And we are a fully diesel RV. Free propane, and all of our appliances are diesel.
Yeah, we don't get to benefit from that one. But they also offer free Wi-Fi, free laundry. Dang, we just installed that new washing machine.
Do they fold the laundry?
That might make it worth it. 2 UTV machine rentals at 50% off a month. 1 free drink and snack each day you work from the store. 3 t-shirts and 1 hoodie. Free Saturday meals at the pavilion when scheduled. Tickets to the Friends of the Paiute Trail banquet. 2 cabin or RV spot rentals for 3 days each month for friends and family, depending on availability, but 50% off for longer than 3-day stays. $200 completion bonus if working May 1st to October 31st, 2022. And your space value is $492 a month.
Now, the compensation package for this company sounds great, but let's talk about what the job is. Now, their duties could include, but not limited to, front desk, front office, reservations, store, UTV rentals, maintenance, office, store, housekeeping, cleaning cabins, cleaning bathrooms, restrooms. Bathrooms are restrooms, never mind. Laundry rooms, maintenance, groundskeeping, plumbing, electric, landscaping, and a cook. You can be a chef. So plenty of jobs there as well. If you have a skill set in one of those and an RV, I think this is a great place for you to go, especially if you have a sense of adventure.
If you do need more information, the email for this location is lizzieandcharlies1@gmail.com.
This pamphlet here, Work Where You Play, has been our motto for a long time. And one of the things we love about work camping is we're going to a location and we're staying months on end. Yes, we're doing a job, but we are experiencing that location for a long period of time, unlike most visitors who only get to spend a week or 2 or their vacation time visiting a place. And this company is called
Ortega National Parks. And Ben had mentioned earlier that we have worked for the concessionaire at national parks. However, we had not heard of this concessionaire company prior to today.
Now, we were really excited about all the locations that this property operated in. Some of these national parks we have never heard of. And unfortunately, the recruiters there were recruiting for all of these properties. And unfortunately, they weren't able to give us details on each property and how it worked for work campers and the compensation and how your RV site worked for each property. But they were a great link. So now we can take the information they gave us, the locations that they operate in, and we can go to that property and inquire more to see if it's a place we want to work at in the future.
The best advice that they gave us was to go to onpjobs.com, click on a location, and get the contact information for that specific property to inquire more about housing, compensation, and what it might take to find employment there.
The booth right next to Ortega was called Southern Cross, and we had never heard of this company before, and we weren't really sure what it was exactly, but there was a sign saying hiring now, so it grabbed our attention.
This one was extremely exciting because it was the opportunity for full-time work with benefits, paid time off, paid training, and weekly travel per diem. So you would never be without work per se.
But it is completely different from anything we've ever experienced. This team is going out surveying areas, and you are moving from job to job throughout the country. So you're still moving, but it's not a contracted position. Still working for the same company in different locations. And something that sets this company apart from other companies is they actually pay for your travel between job sites.
And it sounded really great. You get paid to drive, you get paid per mile to travel to the next location, you get paid per day once you're there, and the job sounded very interesting. It is working with utility companies, natural gas, electric, water, and oil utilities to ensure those companies' success, surveying for safety issues and possible leaks.
This is something that we have no experience with, but it grabbed our attention, and this job opportunity looks really good for me and has my interest. If we can somehow make this job work for me and couple it with Lauren's new current remote job that she has, then this might be a way that we can travel the country differently than we have in the past 7 years, 6 or 7 years.
If you think this might work for your lifestyle as well and you'd like to inquire for more information, you'll want to send an email to hr@southerncrossinc.com.
I do believe you do have to be an RVer for this job too.
Yes.
Now this booth eluded us. We were near this booth back when we were at the Amazon booth, and they had crowds of people around them. Their line was long, and we circled the tent multiple times going to all the other different booths and kept trying to go back and talk to this booth with no luck. And finally, after a few hours, the line had died down enough that we were able to finally talk to a recruiter.
Now this is Ruby's Inn, and they do offer flexible seasonal schedules, full-time or part-time positions, bonus available for the end of the season, and they have full hookups for you.
Now this job is located in Utah. We have worked in Utah 2 previous seasons in our work camping careers, but this is in a completely different area of Utah than we've worked in the past, so a whole new place to explore. And again, we're seeing a theme here. They have all types of different jobs, from ATV guide, horse and wagon ride wranglers, doorman, general store, housekeeping, food and beverage, maintenance, and the list goes on and on. So if you have a skill set in one of their jobs and an RV, we think you'll work great for this place. But judging by the line at the recruiting booth, it's a popular place. You might want to sign up soon.
And you would do that by visiting www.rubysinn.com/employment.
And they are open year-round. That was another big plus with this company. What a show. The RV, what is it called? The Quartzsite RV show, right?
Yes.
The big tent, or is it called the big tent?
The big tent event?
The big tent. I don't know, but it's a big tent and there's a lot of people in there. And we were here to see all the vendors. Well, there weren't vendors. There were vendors there, but we were here to see all the work camping jobs available. And we hope you enjoyed this information. It was a lot of information, and sorry that our camera wasn't working. Not that we could film.
Yeah, there was no room to film. There was barely room just to talk to the representatives at the booths. But we got a lot of great information, and we found jobs that we had never heard of before. It was really a great experience, and we found more information than we were expecting.
Some of those booths, like we said, were not on the list, so we were not expecting to see them. And it was a great surprise to see Shannon there from GTLC.
It was.
A lot of people still walking around. We were being stalked when we were walking to our vehicle for our parking spot. It's opening day. I don't know if it's like this every day, but opening day, we were in line. It was like Black Friday getting in there.
It was. So, potential employers at the Quartzsite RV Show 2022. We hope you found this information helpful, and until next time, remember to seek, learn, experience, and grow.
And join our caravan by clicking that subscribe button there in the middle of your screen and following us on our webpage, roadsteading.com, for more work camping adventures.